If you're trying to learn about real estate quickly, it's really hard to beat the efficiency and the structure available in a book, but a lot of these will end up not being worth your time. And for me personally, there were a few books that I read when I was first starting my career that completely changed the way I thought about the real estate business and ultimately had a huge influence on the direction I took my career. So in this video, I want to walk through 7 books that have had the biggest impact on me since I started in this industry back in 2012 and why I found each of these so helpful. So the first book I want to highlight is Real Estate Finance and Investments by Peter Linneman. Now, this book is a textbook, so it's not necessarily short, but it's surprisingly easy to get through and also written in a very easy to read and conversational tone. This book covers almost every aspect of commercial real estate finance that you need to know to get started in this industry, and also includes some practical case studies at the end of the book to apply what you've learned. Peter Linneman is probably the most well-known academic in commercial real estate, serving as a professor at Wharton for over 30 years, and he now spends his time as the head of Linneman Associates, which is a consulting and advisory firm representing institutions, REITs, developers, and private equity firms. This would be my top book recommendation for people looking to land an analyst or associate role at a commercial real estate investment, development, lending, or brokerage firm. But even if you have no desire to work for another company and you just want to build your own real estate portfolio, this book is still going to be a great resource to get a general overview of the business overall. Now, the next book I want to highlight is my personal favorite on this list, and this is Confessions of a Real Estate Entrepreneur by James Randall. This book completely opened up my eyes to the different ways of making money in commercial real estate and just how quickly you can succeed in this business if you're both creative and willing to take risks. What I also like about this book is that the author goes into detail on the actual transaction process itself, which tends to be really hard information to find, and he also walks through negotiation tactics that you can use to structure more profitable deals. The author is refreshingly honest about both his successes and his failures in a way that's both educational and pretty entertaining. And if you have any desire to become a real estate entrepreneur at really any point in your career, this is a must read. Now, the third book I want to highlight is The Real Estate Game by William J. Porgu. This book is filled with different case studies and what the author refers to as war stories, and this is really a practical guide to the different stages of the real estate investment process. Porgu taught at Harvard Business School and served as the managing partner in a variety of different private real estate companies, and this book does a great job of using storytelling to illustrate key concepts while also blending in the author's hands-on practical experience to get his points across. I think this book is a great resource for anyone who's interested in the thought process behind commercial real estate investment decisions. And if you're trying to land an analyst or associate role at a big name shop within this industry, this book will give you a much clearer sense of the types of things that you might be working on a day-to-day basis. Now, the fourth book I want to mention here is What Every Real Estate Investor Needs to Know About Cash Flow by Frank Gallinelli. What I love about this book is that the chapters are very concise, concepts are explained very clearly, and there are also a ton of examples and rules of thumb scattered throughout the book that are applied to real-world scenarios. Gallinelli was an adjunct professor at Columbia University and has decades of experience in the real estate industry. And if you're trying to land an analytical role, or you just want to be able to run your own numbers more confidently when analyzing investment opportunities, this book does a great job of explaining both how to calculate and interpret key metrics in this business. Now, the fifth book I want to highlight here is Investing in Real Estate by Gary Eldred. Now, this book is very focused on residential real estate investing specifically, so this is something to know up front. But if you're interested in the multifamily or even single family home sectors, this book covers a lot of different investment strategies that are applicable to this space. The author of this book earned a PhD in finance from the University of Illinois and served on the graduate business school faculty of both Stanford University and the University of Virginia, while also spending over 25 years as a real estate investor himself. Now, a downside of this book is that it's pretty long at almost 400 pages, and the content can be a little bit dry at times. But if you're looking for guidance on some more nuanced deal structures, how to structure more favorable contracts, and how to apply these things to the residential sector specifically, this is a very practical guide to making those things happen. Now, book number 6 on this list is Investing in Real Estate Private Equity by Sean Cook. And Sean Cook is actually a pseudonym for a man named Paul Caseberg, who's currently the chief investment officer for one of the largest multifamily investment firms in the country, MG Properties. This book does a really good job of talking through how real estate investment firms evaluate different opportunities and how these companies both manage risk and create value for investors at the same time, while also walking through the basics of the different product types and capital sources that are used within this industry. Now, with that said, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is the most beginner-friendly book on this list, so you may want to start with a few of the books I mentioned earlier in this video if you're brand new to the industry. But if you're looking to learn more about topics like JV equity partnership structures, analyzing deals as a limited partner, and understanding what's included in a private placement memorandum, this book could be a great resource for you. Now, the last book I want to mention here actually isn't about real estate at all, but I found it to be extremely applicable to dealing with people in the real estate business, and this is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And even though all of the 7 habits mentioned in this book could be applied to commercial real estate, the 2 that I found to be the most applicable to succeeding in this industry are begin with the end in mind and think win-win. Begin with the end in mind really refers to thinking about where you want to end up first and then taking actions that are aligned with that ultimate goal, which is directly applicable to building a career in this business, including the jobs you choose to take and the relationships you choose to invest in. And think win-win refers to finding ways to help other people succeed in the process of trying to succeed yourself, which can be applied to making introductions that might help your peers, leaving some money on the table in a negotiation for the sake of doing repeat business in the future, and generally making sure that brokers, sellers, and other third parties that you might be working with all come away from a transaction feeling like they're better off. So even though there's a ton of information out there online, I'm still a huge fan of books, and these are my top 7 recommendations if you're looking to break into commercial real estate. And if you are trying to land a job in this industry at a real estate investment, development, brokerage, or lending firm, make sure to check out our all-in-one membership training platform, Breaking a CRE Academy. A membership to the Academy will give you instant access to over 120 hours of video training on real estate financial modeling and analysis. You'll get access to hundreds of practice Excel interview exam questions, sample acquisition case studies, and you'll also get access to the Break into CRE Analyst Certification exam, which covers topics like real estate pro forma and development modeling, commercial real estate lease modeling, equity waterfall modeling, and many other real estate financial analysis concepts that will help you prove to employers that you have what it takes to tackle the responsibilities of an analyst or associate at a top real estate firm. And if you like this video and want to see more content on different books, podcasts, or other educational resources that I've found helpful over the years, make sure to hit the like button and let me know. And let me know in the comments if there are any other books that you've read that you would add to this list. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more videos like this every single week, and I'll see you in the next video.